Hello one and all, it's review of My Hero Academia Vigilantes, Chapter 84, Dreams. And we open up basically where our last chapter left off, with Pop and the Crawler falling to their deaths. And he doesn't have enough, juice left to keep himself afloat, but he is able to angle himself to land on this conveniently placed cushion airbag. I don't know what the official name for it is. I've seen it in a lot of movies. They set it up below suicide jumpers so that when they jump, they land on it and they don't die. Actually, my favorite scenes in any movie. This hero has to stop the villain. He's on top of the skyscraper, the villain's at the bottom of the skyscraper. So he makes a running start, leaps off the building, lands on the bag hundreds of feet below him, then rolls off and chases after the villain. Now, there is a whole lot wrong with the physics and logic of all of that, but it was still an amazing scene. And it's interesting that, though, you just have to wonder why they set this up. Why did Soga and the gang build this thing? Did they know that Koichi could fly? Was that something they discovered during his training? I mean, from what we saw when they were in the warehouse, all he did was climb up walls faster, move faster, shoot better. We never saw him really, take off completely, except maybe do a few, double, triple, quadruple jumps. So this feels like something they had to arrange ahead of time because they figured it was a possibility this was going to happen. I'm very curious about all of that. Though it is interesting. I mean, like I said, I've seen this in movies used for suicide jumpers, but it could definitely have more of a use in this world, in the world where people can actually fly. I could see hero schools or even parents setting this up to help teach someone how to fly so that, if they made a mistake, if they fell to the ground, they wouldn't die immediately. But actually, I'm sure they have, flying facilities all across Japan where you can go and test out flying. The floors made of rubber, trampolines or whatever. I'm very curious about all the little odds and ends of this world. Anyway, important parties managed to get Pop to Soga and all his gang, and they have the tool needed to extract the bee from her eye. But unfortunately, they have no idea what the drug did to her. She's in a very bad state right now. So, do they take it out? Do they wait? Do they bring her to a hospital? I mean, what's the plan here? They're all freaking out. They're all panicking. But then, in their darkest moment, an ally comes to save the day. Good old Midnight. And, not gonna lie, I did not expect her here. I mean, last video, I was theorizing, Eraserhead's gonna show up and save the day. The detective's gonna tell Endeavor who the real villain is, and then Endeavor's gonna switch sides. Oh, maybe even All Might's gonna show up. All Might's gonna show up, and he's gonna see Koichi's bravery and decide that he's gonna be the next symbol piece. He's gonna offer him the chance to inherit his quirk. I had so many crazy theories. Never once did I speculate about Midnight. I honestly kind of forgot that she was in the spin-off. And it does make sense that she's here. She is Pop's friend, and in terms of quirk, she is incredibly useful right here, being able to put her to sleep, lower her metabolism to the point where the bees won't go crazy and start killing everyone. So I do love that the one guy forgot to hold his breath and passed out. Oh, I love that. Also, I'm just now noticing this, but after she used her quirk on her, her skin lightened up again. She's looking more like the Pop we know and love. Anyway, then Endeavor shows up to announce that he's found the villainous scum. It's like, Endeavor, I'm fairly certain you know Midnight. I mean, I think she's, fairly well known enough that even you would recognize her at this point. Have you met her before? I'm fairly certain they were all in a meeting together talking about the instant quirk villains. Might be wrong about that. I just love it. She has to stop Soga from attacking Endeavor. I mean, okay, it was one thing for Koichi to go after him, to try and outmaneuver him, outbeat him. He's the protagonist. Soga, you have nowhere near enough firepower or ability to take on freaking Endeavor, but I do love that you actually made the effort, that you actually were fully planning to do it. Okay, again, I'm just noticing that I said a minute ago that her skin lightened up after Midnight used her quirk on her, but now in the next page, her skin looks like it darkened again. So was the calming effects, sleep powder, whatever you want to call it, already wearing off? Or was that just an error on the artist's side? I'm not sure. That's weird. Anyway, so Midnight convinces Endeavor they need to get her to hospital because she's in critical condition. And Endeavor just really, really wants to go murder the other one right now, but thankfully she lies to him and says, oh, he disappeared. He slipped away. I don't know how that happened. And he certainly doesn't seem to be believing it all that much, but he realizes that, getting her to a hospital is highest priority because she has information about what's going on. She can probably reveal some important things about the instant quirk villains and all that. And then Koichi almost gets caught as he crawls up the side of the building. Personally, I would just hid behind the cushion for a bit longer, but Then when Endeavor turns around, he's already gone. I just love this next shot of Endeavor punching. I mean, he literally punches a hole through a metal pipe. That's terrifying. And the water sprays him, he cools him off, and it basically unmasks him. I love that. You sometimes forget that his mask is literally just fire that he arranged around his face. I have a lot of questions on why he does that. Seems like it would require a lot of work and focus for, I don't know, ambience, for looking cool. That's really weird now I think about it. But it's a really great shot of him, cooling himself off like that. I really like it. Anyway, then we flash over to Koyuchi and his next encounter with O'Clock 2, or just the nameless number 6, as he's referring to himself now. And, oh my god, I freaking love Koyuchi. I saw a lot of people complain online that he was, so stupid for trying to get this guy help after, attempted to murder Pop and attempted to murder him, and actually said that he was still going to murder him and Pop. But that's not who Koyuchi is. He's not a killer. He's not about taking out a villain. He's about saving the people. I've often said in the main series that Deku and Bako represent two different sides to All Might. Bako epitomizes the side of All Might that always stops the villain, wins the fight, takes out the bad guy, while Deku epitomizes the side of All Might that's about protecting the people, saving everyone. And yet here we see Koyuchi representing that to a far, far greater degree than Deku ever has. I mean, seriously. If a villain, attempted to murder Muraka or Bako, and then attempted to murder Deku, and then after he stopped him, still said that he was gonna, murder Deku and Raka, Deku would not be, all on board trying to rush to make sure he gets help, make sure he gets medical attention. But Koyuchi is, because he's all about saving people, he's all about protecting people, not about winning, and I just absolutely love that for him. Then we have the whole evil villain monologuing as he's talking about his whole past, who he is. Inside and out, everything about me was cobbled together like a craft project. I don't even know who the heck I am. Which is actually a fairly good question, because let's not forget, as far as we know, the Nomu, they aren't created from scratch. They aren't created from nothingness. They need a base, a human host, original source material, original person to modify and enhance to become what they are. So, who was number 6? Who is he originally? What is his source material? I mean, he has this overwhelming desire to become a hero. Could he have been made from the corpse of a hero, of a student who wanted to be a hero? I mean, this is kind of crazy, but is it possible that Nameless number 6 is actually Oboro Shirakumo? I mean, we know from the main series, he eventually ends up becoming Kurogiri, but what if that wasn't his first form? What if this was the Doctor's first attempt at working with him, first attempt working with his corpse to turn him into something else, turn him into something more? And then by the end of the series, he ended up being captured again by the Doctor and turned into Kurogiri. That'd definitely be a very, very interesting origin story for him. I really would like it if that was the case. I'm not sure. I mean, that was like a kind of crazy theory, but I don't know. I just want to throw it out there. I just love this other line. It says, and a guy who's a nobody will put his life on the line to become somebody. You get how that feels? Nah, how could you? I really don't think Koyuchi gets how that feels, because, he is a nobody. He's no one. He's just a vigilante trying to help the everyday person. He's not doing it for the thanks, for the praise. He's just doing it because he likes to help people. He doesn't want to be a somebody. Sure, he's all annoying people call him the crawler instead of the crawler, but he still just is all about helping people, not about getting famous or rich or anything like that. Didn't really care about being a somebody just as long as he can protect people. And then we get this absolutely amazingly, wonderfully grotesque shot as Nameless number 6 announces, garbage like you who ruins people's dreams, I'll make sure you get what's coming to you. And just, oh my lord, this face of his is monstrous. It's burned. You see the muscle fiber underneath the skin. There's no skin. Oh, it's horrible. It's terrible. I love it. A lot of people online are saying this is an homage to Two-Face, and yeah, I can definitely see that. We've seen the main series and side series now have a lot of references to various comic book characters, and I'm kind of curious if his face is going to stay like this. Yeah, he has, ultra speed regeneration, so he can heal from almost any wound, but what if this, stays permanently scarred, permanently damaged moving forward? I think that would look really cool on him. Obviously not to this degree, but just, covered in scar tissue, whatever. Think, half Deadpool face, half regular face. It definitely does go back to what I was saying before. He was cobbled together in pieces. He's not one whole person. He's made of various parts and elements, and because of that, he doesn't really have a true identity, a true self. So this whole split persona thing really works for him. He even goes on to emphasize afterwards, saying that even though nothing he has is real, it's all made up. The rage, the hatred he has for Koyuchi for destroying his dream, that's real. And yeah, this guy is... I do just love how this guy's like, you destroyed my dream! I'm really upset about that! And Koyuchi's not like, yeah, but you were trying to kill a bunch of people. Well, I don't care. That was my dream. Like, he has zero sense of ethics or morality or empathy whatsoever. It's just, in his mind, Koyuchi's the villain. He's the bad guy because he got in his way. Oh, it's almost hilarious. Anyway, then he announces he's going to kill Pop because she knows too much. I mean, really, what exactly does she know? I mean, I guess she kind of knows the hero Rock was the one who kidnapped and abducted her. Kind of feel like, you can just, make a new identity for yourself, become a new hero, become a new person. Maybe move to America, make a new star as the big hero over there. I feel like he has other options, rather than killing her. But then on the other side, I guess he really, really wants to kill Koyuchi, so that's most of his motivation right here. And then he collapses onto the ground, and not gonna lie, for a second I really thought he was dead. I really was like, oh, he's dead, and he gets taken to the morgue. Koichi's like, oh, I guess that's over. And then you see him escaping the morgue, coming back to life. The doctor rescuing him somehow, some way. But nope, instead he managed to escape, and this swirling pattern is very interesting. It's definitely very deliberate. I saw a lot of people online saying this was Nameless number 6 adapting the crawler's slide and glide methods to make him more maneuverable, to improve his speed, which would make a lot of sense. Let's not forget the high-speed quirk he has isn't his own quirk. It was something he stole from the original O'Clock, from Knuckle Duster. So he definitely has a talent for observing others and learning their techniques, their maneuvers, their abilities, a lot like Deku does, which is going to make for a very, very interesting next fight. Now the question is, when is that fight going to be? Because we still have to, get Pop to the hospital, get her the surgery, the medical treatment she needs. I feel like she's been in a coma for a while, and he needs to take her out before she wakes up. So he doesn't have that long to recover, that long to regrow, but she could definitely be, out of it for a good couple days, couple weeks. I mean, Knuckle Duster's daughter was definitely out for the count for quite a while after it was removed from her, and it's even worse for Pop because she was injected with a drug, which took a huge toll on her body. My personal theory for what's going to happen moving forward is that Koichi is going to visit her at the hospital and meet her parents, and they're going to bring the All Might hoodie that he gave her way back when and say, oh yeah, she's always treasured it after some guy saved her with it, and then he's going to borrow the hoodie and use it for the final fight. I mean, I just feel like that hoodie needs to play a role in this big final fight, It was first brought up way back when in chapter 20, and I don't know, it just definitely feels important. Koichi also said, he'd give up being a hero once he ran out of hoodie, once they were all too worn down to be used, and this fight certainly did a lot of damage to this hoodie. He might say, oh, I can't use that hoodie anymore, I need to go buy another one, and then they show up with the hoodie, and he's like, this is the sign, and he's like, this is it, I need to use that hoodie for this final fight. That way it'll be like Pop is fighting right beside me. This will make me even stronger. The spirit of the hoodie will make me grow plus ultra. Something like that. I'd love to see that. I saw some other people speculating that, oh, they need to wait for Pop to wake up to have this big final fight, so that way, it can be him and Pop and maybe Knuckle Duster working together to win it. I don't think that's the case, because, the whole point of Nameless number 6 trying to kill Pop is that she doesn't spill the secrets. She wakes up, she's going to spill the secrets very, very quickly. So, sadly, I think we're done with Pop till probably the epilogue of the series, more or less. I'm also still going to speculate that All Might show up before the end of the series, congratulate Koichi on everything he's done, and offer to make him his apprentice, offer to pass on the power of One for All to him, and Koichi's going to refuse. I posted online, and someone did criticize, saying that can't happen because then All Might would find out about the Nomu and realize that All for One was still alive, but I don't think that would be the case. I mean, based on the timeline, it's a little unclear, but this should have happened, but all this should be happening shortly after All Might's battle with All for One. And it's clear that Nameless number 6 here has been working on this plan for several years, so All Might could assume that maybe this was a person who was working for All for One, who, decided to split out, work on his own, do his own stuff after the death of his boss, his master, his creator. Honestly, I'm not really sure what the Doctor and All for One's role is with Nameless number 6. I mean, I don't think he's under their control, because he's making, a lot of attention, because he's bringing a lot of attention to himself, being very transparent, being kind of stupid a lot of time. And I think that's the exact opposite of what they want. They don't want people to know about them. They want to remain in the shadows. So I think he's, branching out, doing these things on his own. I said before, I thought Nameless number 6 could end up becoming used as part of Kurogiri down the road. Maybe we'll see the Doctor come in, collect his body after, he's severely wounded and almost dead, and then say, haha, you escaped, but this time I won't let you. This time we'll make you something else, something better. someone who was entirely focused on protecting my young ward. Something like that could definitely be interesting. But yeah, those are my thoughts on this chapter. Let me get all this down below. What do you think is going to be the big final fight? I mean, how do you top what we saw so far? I mean, the Crawler literally, upgraded every one of his abilities. He can shoot better, he can glide and slide and glide faster, he can fly, he's gotten more powerful in every way whatsoever. So is this going to be him training to better use these powers for this big next fight? Is he going to be able to go full-on flight mode now that he's at least figured out the basics of it? A lot of questions about all of that, but let me think all this down below. Be sure to like, subscribe to the next video, and until then...
Peace!